So, after releasing a really technical video yesterday, I want to kind of talk or be a little bit more philosophical. And by the way, if you haven't watched my more technical video from yesterday, it's linked down in the video description, and it's on how to load data into a type 2 slowly changing table with a merge. So, shout out, go watch that. But today, I want to talk about kind of a more conceptual question that I was asked by someone today, and that is, how do you prioritize requests? And I think this is a really difficult job about being a manager in a data space because you're constantly told that everything is needed as soon as possible and right away. And then from the IT world, you have agile people coming in and they talk about sprints and t-shirt sizes, and like, don't even get me started on story points. Like, I get it. I get agile works for some people. It doesn't work for me. And so when I was asked what is my approach to prioritizing requests, I it kind of made me think. And I said, what is my approach? Because I really have two different approaches that I kind of flippity flop between. And I think they actually kind of come from uh, financial YouTube, because I watch a ton of YouTube all the time, especially while I'm running on the treadmill. And one of the people I've been watching has been Caleb Hammer. And before that, it was Graham Stephan. And before that, it was The Ramsey Show. And I listened to these people talk about having to get out of debt. Really, two main methods of getting out of debt. So there's what they call the debt avalanche, and there's what they call the debt snowball. So in the debt snowball, you kind of take your smallest request and you pay, kind of move on to the next one, and then move on to the next one, and then move on to the next one, and you start with your smallest so you get a quick win, and then eventually you kind of run into these bigger and bigger debts. In the avalanche method, you essentially kind of work on little pieces of the debt, right? So you're making minimum payments, but then you spend the most time on kind of the highest priority debt with the highest interest rate. And I think this is a really great metaphor for requests. You see, in if you think about a data request or a data project that might get assigned to your team, it's a lot like a debt that your team then has to pay back to the stakeholder, right? And so you can, as soon as a small task comes in, you can go ahead and tackle it and get it out of the way. That way you eventually have great capacity to work on these bigger ones, or you can kind of do the bare minimum on all the little ones while putting all of your attention to the big priority one. Now, I don't necessarily do kind of any of these particular, right? I'm not like, oh, first I tackle my small requests, then I tackle my big ones. But I think that I kind of flip flop between these two methods with prioritization, right? Prioritizing data requests is a little bit of an art as much of it as a science. And you have to be able to kind of think like, okay, if I can clear off these next 10 tasks, then all of a sudden now I have all of this free capacity to work on the largest or biggest priority thing. Conversely, right, if something's a huge deal and super time sensitive, you need to shut down all of those little requests. That way they stop eating away at your team's capacity, and you can focus on just the big stuff. All right. I hope this was a cool metaphor. I I got kind of excited when someone asked me that question today, and it really made me think, so I wanted to make a video. If you enjoy business intelligence and SQL and Power BI, please consider subscribing. And if you join this video, please consider liking it. My video tomorrow is going to be on what I think the best way to document DAX measures is. So, really thrilling stuff. And with that, thanks for watching.